Video posted to YouTube on November 19, 2025, Philadelphia Police Department officers approached a man named Anthony, who was parked in front of a driveway and sleeping in his vehicle while waiting for his wife to finish caring for her grandmother. Anthony filmed the encounter that followed and later shared it on his YouTube channel.
Is your body cam on? Yes, it is. Okay.
This is where everything instantly spirals out of control. Anthony is just sitting in his car, waiting quietly, when suddenly an officer opens his car door without permission. That single move flips the entire situation. Anthony immediately pushes back, demanding the officer close his door, making it clear no consent was given. But instead of backing off, the officers stand their ground. Now it's not about parking anymore. It's about rights versus authority. Anthony calls him out, demands a supervisor, and warns them this could turn into a lawsuit. And just like that, a calm situation turns into a heated confrontation.
Well, call your supervisor for me. Call your supervisor for me. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm not answering no questions, no nothing. Close my door. I ain't give you permission to touch my car door. I ain't doing nothing illegal. I'm minding my business. My wife taking care of her mother. Close my door. Close my door. You gonna see how I'm tripping. You gonna see when you call your supervisor here. You gonna see how you wrong. You gonna see where you gonna see you wrong. Nobody come out of here, bro. It's closed. No, it does matter. I live on this block for 20 years. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, bro.
De-escalate the situation.
De-escalate. Close my door. Close my door. No. He escalated. He opened my door. You did not have permission to open my door, look at my car, search nothing. Thank you. Close my door. Don't ever open nobody's property, bro. What is wrong with y'all? This is the divide between the community and y'all. Y'all walk up acting like y'all Superman. Y'all not. Ain't nobody bothering nobody, bro. I live on this block 20 years. I know the owner of this building. Why the he opened my door, bro?
Can I speak?
Why he opened my door?
Because we asked you, can you
he don't get what he wants. That's not how this works, bro.
You already hostile.
But that's not how this works. You don't open my door without my...
Now the argument shifts into something deeper. Anthony starts questioning the very foundation of the stop, asking who even called the police, and the officers respond with their reasoning, blocking a driveway. But Anthony isn't backing down. He challenges everything, from the legality of the stop to the officer's actions, repeatedly insisting his rights are being violated. At the same time, the officers begin tightening control of the situation, asking for ID, asserting authority, and trying to move the encounter forward. And this is where the tension quietly builds, because neither side is willing to give an inch.
He called you, bro.
The officer explains that they approached Anthony because his vehicle was blocking the driveway, and Anthony argues that nobody called them to report he was blocking the driveway. Section 12-913 of the Philadelphia Code prohibits drivers from standing or parking a vehicle in front of a public or private driveway, and the ordinance contains no exception for vehicles parked on a public street in front of a driveway with the property owner's permission. Because Anthony's vehicle was visibly parked in front of a driveway, a court would likely find that the officer's observations of the potential violation were sufficient to justify an investigative detention, and a citizen complaint was not required for them to lawfully do so. The Supreme Court established that framework in the 1968 case of Terry v. Ohio, which arose not from a tip or citizen complaint, but from a detective's personal observation of two men repeatedly pacing in front of a store window in a pattern that the officer recognized as consistent with casing for a robbery. In this context, the court held that an officer may detain a citizen based on reasonable articulable suspicion of a legal violation, even when the suspicion was entirely derived from the officer's own observations and not an outside source. Accordingly, a court would likely conclude that the officer's approach and initial detention of Anthony were lawful, as the observed potential parking violation provided sufficient reasonable articulable suspicion to justify the stop, regardless of whether any citizen complaint had been made.
That man walked up, opened my door, bro. That's not looking for a problem. That's a divide between y'all and the community. That's the divide, is because y'all think y'all right. You don't walk up, open somebody's car, and then tell me you're not right. I don't want to hear you talk. I don't. Because your man just violated. He f***ed up. Yeah, he f***ed up. Call your supervisor. Run the tags. Run whatever you got. This shit all legit. You walk up, touching my vehicle. What is you talking about? You tripping. Ain't nobody tripping. You can look all you ain't nothing in here. You tripping. Yeah. Yeah. What's your name? What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number?
Right here.
No, I can't read.
Yeah, you can't
read it out for what's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number, bro? Huh?
What's your license, bro?
What's your name and badge number?
1593.
You ain't pulling me over. This ain't no stop.
Oh, it is a stop.
No, it's not a stop. No, call your supervisor right now. What's your name and badge number?
Oh, Fuentes.
Fuentes?
3700. Fuentes, 3700.
Fuentes 3700. What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number, bro?
1593, Bell. Officer Bell.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm requesting your supervisor. Call your supervisor for me.
First time, I make sure everything's safe.
Call your supervisor for me.
Listen. We stopped you, right? You sleep in the car, right?
Right. Call your supervisor for me, please. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You see a driver?
Yeah, somebody called you for this? Somebody called you, told?
This is where things turn physical. Anthony refuses to comply fully until a supervisor arrives, but the officers escalate, ordering him out of the vehicle. Now he's faced with a choice: white right pointing backhand index comply, or risk arrest. Under pressure, he steps out, but makes it clear he's doing so under threat. And then comes a turning point. His frisked against his will. At this moment, the situation crosses from verbal confrontation into physical control, and Anthony is now fully detained.
Detainment. No. Illegal detainment. This is illegal detainment. Don't touch me, bro. Call your supervisor. I'm requesting your supervisor, bro. I'm requesting your supervisor, bro. Okay, well, call him. Why you touching me, bro? No, this is not a stop. I wasn't driving. Call your supervisor, bro. Listen, under threat of arrest, listen to me. Under threat of arrest, listen to me. I'm gonna get out this car, but under threat of arrest, you do not have permission to search my car. I'm gonna get out my car, back up, and call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. I don't see you calling nobody. Get out of here, bro. Don't ever open nobody's car door. What's wrong with you, bro? No, you chill out.
Why you got car safety? I'm just on.
No, don't touch me. I ain't giving you no consent. No consent to search me, bro. Why are you touching me, bro? Why is you touching me, bro? Bro, why is you touching me? Stop touching me. No, this ain't no detainment. Bro, nobody called you, bro. What is you doing right now?
The officers order Anthony out of the vehicle, and after he eventually complies under threat of arrest, they frisk him over his objections, asserting a concern for officer safety. The Supreme Court held in the 1977.
Now everything intensifies. Anthony is placed in handcuffs and immediately starts shouting in pain, claiming the cuffs are too tight. But while he's restrained, white right pointing backhand index officers begin searching his car. That's when things explode again. Anthony yells that they are illegally searching, accusing them of going through personal belongings, even his wife's purse. This is no longer just a stop. This is now a full-blown rights violation claim unfolding in real time.
Parking violation stops of stationary vehicles without treating that distinction as dispositive. Accordingly, court could reasonably conclude that the officer safety rationale underlying MIMS applies with equal force here, where the officers detained an individual in the driver's seat of a parked vehicle to investigate a parking violation. Now, as for the frisk, in addition to establishing the reasonable suspicion framework that we discussed earlier in this episode, the Supreme Court also held in the Terry case that an officer may conduct a limited pat-down for weapons only when the officer has reasonable articulable suspicion that the person is armed and dangerous. An analysis that is separate from and in addition to the reasonable suspicion that's justifying the detention. Nothing in the footage suggests a basis for that suspicion here. Anthony was sleeping in a parked vehicle. The stop arose from a minor parking violation, and there is no indication of any weapon, threatening gesture, or other specific articulable fact suggesting that he was armed. His argumentative demeanor and reluctance to exit the vehicle are not inherently suggestive of being armed and dangerous, and a court would likely conclude that the frisk was not supported by the reasonable articulable suspicion that the Terry case requires.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna sue the out of y'all. I know my rights, bro. I know my rights. I'm gonna sue the out of y'all. This is illegal detainment. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, bro. You're gonna get fucking sued. You're gonna get sued. I'm telling you. Watch. Watch, and they can put them cuffs on, bro. How the you put the cuffs on me like that? How the you put the cuffs on me like that, bro? Bro, fix them cuffs. Call your supervisor, bro. Yo, you hurting my wrist, bro. You hurting my wrist, bro. What the are you doing right now?
That's you're near LA, Wishart, right?
Yo, fix these cuffs. They cutting my wrist. Yo, fix these cuffs. They cutting my wrist, bro. I don't give you permission to search my car. Get the out of my car right now. Yo, that's the illegal search. Why you all up in my for? Get the out of my car. Ain't nobody give you permission to go on my wheel, bro. Get the out of my car. This all up in my wheel right now. Why you in my wife's purse, bro? Why the you in my wife's purse? Yo, this illegally right now, bro. Cutting my wrist. These cuffs is cutting my wrist. Fix these cuffs, man. I give you my license. I give you my license.
And then everything changes again. Anthony's wife arrives, and she's shocked. She immediately questions the officers, asking why he was pulled out, why he's detained, and why they're searching the car. Now it's no longer just Anthony versus police. White right pointing backhand index at a public scene. Bystanders begin reacting, and the pressure builds fast. His wife defends him, insisting he was doing nothing wrong, just waiting for her. And now the officers are no longer dealing with one voice. They are dealing with multiple people questioning their actions.
Right now, for no reason, they searching the car and everything. Yo, they got it. You got a major. Listen, it's a major lawsuit. It's a major lawsuit. It's a major lawsuit. They violating my rights. Listen, these cops are cutting my wrist really bad. He put them on. He put them on to be a dickhead. Nothing. I was sleeping in the car. They came and popped the doors open and ran in my car. Listen, nobody called this. Listen, these cuffs are cutting my wrist. Please tell him fix my cuffs. Let's go. Please. I can't feel my left hand. It's numb. I can't feel my left hand. It's numb. They cutting my shit.
Bro, I'm trying to fix the handcuffs. Let go of this stuff.
Just don't take my phone.
Yeah, we're
Take
taking
my phone. Take my phone, Trent.
No.
Oh
my God, stop.
This is illegal detainment.
All right, the cops sit him in the car for now.
This is not legal. I'm telling you. I know my rights.
I just gotta get them up.
He knows all about First Amendment rights.
Okay, good for him.
Why they take him out the car though? He was just sitting in the car. He was just sitting in the car. Why y'all take him out the car?
Walking in, he's sleeping in the car. I understand.
He don't want me to come around him by myself because it's just not safe.
Well, we tried to get his information. He was kind of being loud, so we're just gonna.
Because he knows his rights. He knows his rights. He knows his rights. And you know he's
He
not.
wasn't. He was sleeping in the car.
He's waiting for me. We're exhausted. We get up 5:30 every morning to take our kids to school.
Just let me finish what we're doing. Before you do that, huh?
But why y'all searching the car?
Oh, please stop.
You can't search this car. He's just sitting in the car.
Sorry, I'm calling a lawyer. This is a violation of rights. Yeah, he was just sitting there.
They ain't say no charges. No, what's the reason of the search?
I don't have to say charges to you. You're not his mom.
They ain't tell him what's the reason for the search. They ain't do none of that.
Call,
They just snatched him
call
out
the
the car.
lawyer.
You
Call.
took him out of the car and you went to the car for
No, it's okay. Y'all can do your job. I'm just saying,
Thank
why?
you.
Can I
I
just
take care of my grandmother down the street.
Okay.
That's what I do. And he don't want me to come over here by myself. It's not safe.
No, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, why y'all
If
taking him
something
out the
happens
car?
to me, and Box, go in the house. They just
heard me?
locked Anthony up.
He's not locked up. He's detained. Jesus Christ.
I know that's what I'm saying, but why are you detaining him? He just sitting in the car. We live on the block. Like, it's crazy. I literally walked out.
He doesn't know this. This isn't his house. This is not his house.
After all that escalation, Anthony is finally released. But instead of calming down, he goes straight back on the offensive. He calls out the officers again, accusing them of illegal detention, illegal search, and violating his rights. And this time, he's not just arguing. White right pointing backhand index is promising legal action. He repeatedly tells them, "You're going to court." The officers try to disengage, but Anthony makes sure the final word is clear. This isn't over.
He's on
Just come
YouTube.
up and start questioning because he's sitting in the car.
He's waiting for me. My grandmom is screaming out the door. My 76-year-old grandmother is screaming out the door. She's screaming because you locked my husband up, who does nothing else. Let him go. He takes care of me and my children. No, these are violating people's rights. It's not right. I am calling a lawyer and I am filming all this. Go in the house. Go in the house, bro. Thank you for getting me.
Hey, yo, listen, no, my man. Illegal searches, you illegally detained me. You illegally detained me. You ran up in my wife's, my car, my wife's purse. You searched her purse and everything. Her purse was locked. I got it all recorded. We gonna see. It's all recorded. No. Take these cuffs off me. And if you ain't have that badge, oh man, you be in a world of. You be in a world of. Does he have a badge? It's hypothetically speaking. You violated my rights. You're getting a lawsuit on you. That's what you got. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in court, bro. I'll see you in court. You thought you with the wrong one. You know that, right? You with the wrong one. I hope you know. I'm going to take y'all to court. It don't matter. Y'all going to cut me a nice check. Y'all going to cut me a nice check. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You going to cut me a nice check. Thank you for violating my rights. The out of my face. Thank you for violating my rights. Yo, what's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? For the illegal detainment and violating my rights? Yo, he opened my wife's purse and took all my. He searched all my shit illegally. You understand me?
Anthony argues that the officers illegally searched his vehicle and his wife's purse. Under the automobile exception to the warrant requirement, first established by the Supreme Court in the 1920